two. It means welcome.
Yeah. Atu.
In Ghana.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the show that you know. The boys with the name you can trust.
The name you can trust.
The name who can never collect dust. It's Dr. Afori.
Man like Dr. Afori and that.
You know what I'm saying? Welcome back.
We back at it again, boy.
It's episode 3.
Stress.
It's feeling nice, you know.
Yeah, man.
Starting to get comfortable.
Boys are getting back to the groove.
You know.
Yeah.
While Hot Boy Summer's around the corner.
Boys are ready. Boys have been in the gym,
you know,
fam.
City boys are already up 1,000 points.
I mean, I don't think the hot girls got a chance this summer.
Nah.
It's over.
Nah.
No chance.
After we've been seeing these, you know, these you know what, man.
Please specify. Me, I don't know. Specify the you know what,
man. Just all that matters is Lil Duval said City boys are up, so we're up.
I say less. You know, we'll see what the ladies have to say about that. But yeah, I don't think they got a chance this summer.
Nah,
no
not
chance. No chance.
Catch me in Vegas or Miami.
Sheesh.
Don't even bother, bro.
Come on,
that's how it's
bro.
going down.
Sheesh, say less.
And now, welcome back, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Episode 3.
Tres.
I'm your co-host, DJMTM.
Yes, sir.
Ivan, whatever you want to call me.
Mm-hmm.
Here with my mans.
General Anzo too.
Yeah, General with the boys.
Yes, sir.
With my young money millionaire.
Come on.
Uncle E.
Uncle E here.
Come fly with me. No, just fine.
Come fly with me.
Shout out to
the
Will
two
B.
shy guys.
Will B. Shout out to
shy
Will
guys.
B.
Yeah. We gotta get them on camera.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Man, welcome back, y'all. It's been a couple weeks now.
We're coming at it strong this time.
The boys are not playing around.
Yeah.
You know, we're doing a thing. So
come on.
It's mad though. It's been a good week. Like, aside from the Quavo thing,
what was your take from that, the Quavo thing?
You gotta try and get me in trouble?
I'm just asking for your take, fam.
Man, look, here's my take on that. People care entirely too much about celebrity relationships. Past that, we don't even know what happened.
No one knows. We just saw one video and, you know, everyone
I'm
has
not
their
condoning
own interpretation of that.
Right. I'm not condoning any actions that, you know, perspired.
We're not condoning any of that.
None.
We're not saying, but
I'm just saying
it's not our business.
Yeah.
I don't think it's our business.
Precisely.
But, you know, and of course, it should never be should never be acceptable for a man to even get to that level what Quavo did.
For sure.
That was actually, you know, shouldn't get to that level, but let's.
Especially over material, you could have walked away.
Anyway.
We don't know what was in the
we don't know, but, you know, the guys here, we are strongly don't advocate for any sort of behavior resemblance of that.
So, man, if that's what you're doing,
come on.
Allow it.
Please, allow that, fam.
Allow it.
Check yourself.
What's been happening on the continent?
On the
Suez Canal, you see that?
The Suez Canal, man. I remember so many chats at work, everyone trying to come to a solution to do that.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, they finally moved the ship, and it was just crazy. Like they said, like $4 billion the cost was about $4 billion for each total for the days it was held up. It was blocking the canal,
right? Because
that's the only way of connecting the Mediterranean to the Red Sea.
Mm-hmm.
So literally, otherwise you'll have to go all around from West Africa south all the way up.
Yeah, I mean, it's
that loop.
Probably the most important canal in the world, I'd say.
What's the other one? Panama.
Well, Panama is pretty
important. That's up there too. Well. It's one of those, but
they got it clear. So
they were able to get it done. So
and apparently it's gonna take like another 100 days or so to get all the ships that were stuck.
Yeah, it was a huge backlog of ships waiting. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, again, it's a logistics thing, and it just tells you how globalized our world is.
Yeah.
You know, how one route, one canal, you know, has such huge implications on trade in a whole region and in 3 different continents: Africa, Europe, and, you know, Asia, I guess, for India as well.
Yeah.
So
if you're waiting on your Fashion Nova,
guys, yeah.
Sorry, but
the shipment is pending.
It's pending. If you paid for express shipping, you better get your money back.
Get your money back.
You better get your money back.
Say less.
Hey, but
what are we talking about today, fam?
We talking about being African in different settings, right?
Being African in different settings. So what settings?
Pacifically, we're talking about Pacifically.
Okay.
Not Atlantically. We're talking Pacifically.
I see what you did there.
You see what I'm saying?
That's nice.
I don't know. We're especially in Seattle. Do you find yourself like being the only African in settings like school, work, as a professional?
Of course. It's been a...
How has that experience been for you?
For me, it's been a personal journey. Uh-huh. It's throughout my life, from growing up to, let's say, being in, just moving around, growing up, living in different areas. It's very early age. I started being the only African, in school, in class, translates to work. So it's something that for me, I have gotten used to. But doesn't mean that, I love being the only African at a certain setting,
Yeah.
But now at work, you know how it is, being in engineering especially, that minority is very not, like, there are not a lot of minorities, of course. There's most fields already in corporate America, but for me specifically in engineering, there very low number of minority, low number of Black people. Mm-hmm. And now you want to break that down into Africans. Bare pickings. Mm-hmm. And if you find an African, it's probably Nigerian. Mm-hmm. So, that I'm saying, of course, there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm just saying that it's uncommon. Mm-hmm. And it always feels way better when you know that there's a fellow African American, any other Black person, any other minority, really.
Yeah.
Any other minority in the team, I already feel, more comfortable. Mm-hmm. It's just knowing that, all right, I'm not the only minority in here. Mm-hmm. School, work, it translates.
Yeah. I think my experience was a little different. So it started when I moved here. That's when I found myself being the only African, let alone Black person.
So yours in high school? Middle school, right? Junior high. You found yourself being the only African.
Oh yeah.
So how did that... Was that something where you thought to yourself, oh man, I'm the only African, there's no other African here? Was that something that instilled some sort of, I don't want to use the word fear, but were you fearful of that? Were you like, I don't care? Or you just didn't even acknowledge it?
I did acknowledge it, but I don't think it was a conscious acknowledgement. So if you look back to like episode 1 where we were talking about suppressing
our Africanness,
our Africanness, right? I think I became a victim of that, right? Where it's like, get this. So I was walking out of practice one day, soccer practice, mm-hmm. and then I hear this dude go, "Damn, he's Black as shit." And I'm like, and it was a Black person saying it to me, right? I was like, my brother, what are you talking?
What did he say?
And then it's like a whole bunch of like white people around him just laughing.
Oh, he said that too?
Yeah. So I think he was also in a situation where...
Was he an African?
I don't know.
Person, but it was another Black person
who
said that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, I feel like in addition to that, he was playing on a lacrosse team. So lacrosse is like a predominantly white sport, I would say.
Where's Dr. Umar when I need him?
Conscious over. Let me stop.
But he was playing in a lacrosse team.
Yeah.
This is a Black guy in a lacrosse team.
Yep.
And he decides that it's funny to make fun of you
of my skin complexion.
Wow.
Right? And so I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, there's another Black person saying that to me, and it's a bunch of white people around him laughing, right? So I remembered that specific event because that was like almost like a turning point in the way I identified. Mm-hmm. Where I was like, man, it can't be that like I didn't feel embarrassed, but I was like
disappointed.
I was disappointed for him mostly, not for myself,
Of course.
And that was like basically a snapshot of what it was like being the only African. Where when watching movies in class and somebody would say something like, oh, they turn the lights off. Oh, where did Ivan go? Shit like that. So all that to say, like, it's had its struggles, like being the only African or Black person in a lot of those spaces. But honestly, once I got to like high school, college, and started finding my people, like
It was no longer a problem.
It's been the best thing that, I mean, it's been what it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Because being Black is a blessing.
Of course, you know. And to your point, what you made, for me, you just said that story and it triggered something to me where actually the only time I am conscious of I'm the only African or Black person, and to me it's somewhat, it doesn't demoralize me or anything, but it's somewhat, I'm like, damn, is when there's especially another African or another Black person, but the one that really like kind of stings me a bit is when it's another African, either at school, in class, or at work, and you see and recognize him, and you're like, oh, my brother, you know, whatever, and you find that they're busy trying to fit in with the majority. They almost distance yourself. They almost distance you, you know? They don't even want to acknowledge that they're African to you.
It's almost like they're jockeying for like the token.
They're trying to get so that one, that, you know, man, you know, now I'm more older. I understand maybe, you know, like you mentioned, some people feel pressure to understand, to suppress their Africanness or their Blackness to fit in, code switching or whatever they call it. But to me, younger days, especially in college, like, you know, if I saw a few people that they never wanted to be with Africans, no one is forcing you, but, you know, they were only with non-Africans. If you even try to highlight them, like they'll quickly, you know, just don't want you to associate at all. That one used to, I don't know, it bothered me because I'm like, man, at first in college, I would be like, you're a sellout. To be honest, I was like, these sellouts, these coons, these Uncle Toms, you know? That was my mindset back then, you know? In college, because I'm like, man, how dare you not want to associate with your fellow Africans when we're in a country where we're a huge minority, when we're in a school where we're a huge minority? Why would you distance yourself? Because there's some people, they're purposely, you would even try and acknowledge them. They would literally not even want to, you know, but then you see them with the majority, they're all kicking, laughing, you know? So that you kind of felt some type of way. You're like, wow, I'm not, you know, not that I'm seeking their validation, but you mentioned you get disappointed. I'm like, man, I'm disappointed. Look at this guy. He's out here trying to fit in, trying to do all these things. And, you know, your fellow Africans are here. You can't even acknowledge them. We're not saying be our friends, but you should at least acknowledge us that, hey, you know, we're of the same heritage. We come from the same continent. You know, that was, so to be honest, back then, I knew a few guys like that. Every time I see that, you know, I'll be petty as hell. I'll be rolling.
It's the ones that say, my parents are from Africa.
Those are the ones. Usually, those are the ones. Usually, those are the culprits.
Yeah, and honestly, like you said, as we get older, I
now
start
I'm like,
to
whatever.
understand.
Yeah, you understand now.
Because a lot of the times too, people just don't know.
That's the thing.
People just don't know. They've been in an environment where like that's all they know.
Exactly.
Is like being either that token Black person or like they're in a space where their Blackness isn't taught to them.
Exactly.
Or, you know, so it's like, it's not a conscious suppression, but it's like they're just acting on what they know.
That's what they know. They've never been exposed. You know, they could have grown up totally, or their whole life they grew up, let's say, grew up with majority, you know, white people, you know, Asian people, non-Africans their whole life. Naturally, even if you go to college and they see Africans trying to come and approach them, they'll probably feel less comfortable. So I should have, at that time, understand that point. Like, hey, maybe these people actually, but to be honest, that's one part. But some of these people, I knew they came straight from Africa, bro. They were there straight from Africa. And they came and they're trying to not totally distance themselves away, you know? That's fine. You can do whatever it is, but man, I'm disappointed in you, fam.
Yeah.
You know you came from Africa. You know you didn't even, it's not as if you were born and grew up away from Africa your whole life. Yeah. You came fresh off the boat from Africa and now you're here on campus. Yeah. For example, I experienced in college a lot on campus, totally distance. You wouldn't see them at African Student Association. You didn't see them at Caribbean Student Association, Black Nesby, all of the Black minority communities. Total distance. You'll see them at like the white fraternities, the white frats, you know, those events. You only see them there, and they didn't want to associate themselves. So that, man, I'm disappointed, man. I'm like, because imagine now you're the only African in a class or school, and that's the only African there.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Yeah, it doesn't breed like a comfortable environment.
It doesn't. I'm just like, come on, fam. You're better than
guys.
this.
You need to remember, it's politics
Come
over
on.
punani.
Come on, fam.
Conscious over coochie.
Come on, fam.
Dr. Umar said it, so it's factual.
Look, we got, stop tap dancing now. That's all I gotta say.
Opening a can of worms.
That's all I gotta say. But being the only African at work or school, for me, it's something that now, if I'm ever in that situation, I make sure that I am proud of, I'll never hesitate. I'm proud of saying that I am from the Gambia. I am from West Africa. I'm of, this is my heritage. And this is what I represent.
Mm-hmm.
I am very proud now to say that. And, it starts from even your name. For me, before, same thing, people would just, call me Ebrima.
Yeah.
And I was like, whatever, it is what it is. But now, whenever I get a chance in a meeting or so, I'll make sure I correct you first.
No, so it's
actually, it's Ebrima.
No, I feel that, bro.
But yeah.
That's how I always start out. Like, if anybody asks me about my background, are you from Seattle? No, I'm just passing by here. Like,
exactly.
I'm gonna tell you like my real like identity.
Indeed.
And I'm proud of that.
Rightfully so. And we should stop being the only African at work. We should stop whenever we are at school, teachers, co-workers, access. Is there a simpler way to say our names, for example?
Mm-hmm. You don't do that.
Hell no.
If you can say Lewandowski,
all these, man, some of these, names, they'll say it easily. So do not try and ask me if there's an easier way I can remember it, or, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, because then I'm just like, all right.
It's this Nigerian comedian. I don't know if she's a comedian, but she made a funny video on like Twitter and Instagram. And she was like, she said, your parents did not come, however many thousand miles across the sea for you to say your name is Chuks. It should be Chukudi with your chest. And I was like,
say it with your chest now.
Sis speaking facts,
Hey, all I hear is facts. I hear is facts. But yeah, so I think that's the key for being the only African at work at school is be proud of it. For me, I'm proud of it. I embrace it. And I actually use it to show what I bring to the table in terms of diversity.
Mm-hmm.
And it can only help a team. That's one thing we need to understand.
You're hitting
diversity
the dot right there.
only helps a team.
Yeah.
Because it shows that I am coming from I have different background, different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And the more diverse a team is, a class is, it just yields better results.
I mean, just today, like, I had a discussion with my manager where he wanted me I was doing a project.
Yeah.
And I had a completely opposite way of thinking the way of the project than he did. When I presented my thought process, he was like, yo, this is really good. Like, thank you for sharing, your perspective.
Yeah.
We'll go with that. And to a point for what you're saying right there, how I see it about diversity is it's not just diversity in identity, right? Because diversity itself breeds diversity in thought, diversity in process, diversity in decision making, and so many things, right? And when you melt all those together, your end product has a better rate of success, So
trial proven. We're not just our sources are not trust me.
Yeah,
our sources are not every
trust me, bro.
Every source, like there's a bunch of research and reports specifically showing that more diverse teams perform better.
Exactly.
More diverse companies perform better.
Yeah. So and you'll see now a lot of companies are making the initiative.
They have to. You want to succeed? Bring diversity.
To bring diversity in. You look at the most successful companies in the world right now. Very diverse.
Come on. So that's all you need to know. So yeah, being the only African at work, school, I say we should embrace it and actually use it to our own advantage.
Mm-hmm.
You can use it for your career growth, for your academic growth in all forms. So we might think that this is a bad thing being the only African or too bad, this, that, let me suppress it. But, you're missing out on.
What other, say, lessons would you say you've learned about just being the only African?
The only African? Yeah. The first thing, again, I mentioned is big lesson is to not make it easy for your peers, your co-workers, people who you're never in a meeting, to not make it easy for them to, let's say, like let's say, just to not make it easy for them to understand where you're from.
Mm.
It could be as, making sure that you just don't tell them, hey, just, call me Ebrima, or, just don't say that, oh, we're asking where I went to school.
Yeah.
I'm not saying everywhere I go I have to say, oh, I'm from Gambia,
Yeah.
But whenever I'm asked to simplify, let's say, for example, my name, I'll make sure that you should say it the right way.
Yeah.
That's one thing. And two, a lot of people do this, like for you, for example, I understand, like you're from, for me, I look at you, I'm like, okay, you're from Washington, but you're Uganda.
Mm.
But I used to notice a lot of times, and something I picked up from other Africans, even they would come from Africa, did high school, come for college, and then you ask them where you're from, they'll tell you maybe where they stopped for 2 weeks before they started college, or where they were from one. Not that I'm taking shit or anything, but I'm like, you have directly or indirectly suppressed again your Africanness by not, when I asking you where you're from, you think that people do this. I notice this a lot among Africans. Where you from? And they're gonna state the city they lived for maybe a year or maybe even 2, or barely even transit before they went to college and started working. They felt like they would belong more by saying that versus saying that I am from X country in Africa.
Yeah.
So,
and it's like the identity of this country itself is no identity, where it's
exactly.
Like you have Irish people that came in, Italians, you had Chinese people, Japanese, Nigerians, Ghanaians, Kenyans, and it's like that's the identity of the country. So you're cheating yourself out of your true identity by trying to identify as something you're not,
Exactly.
And back to your point number one, by allowing somebody to not give you the full credit you deserve, you're cheating your self-confidence, because now when you have an idea, it's easy for them to suppress it.
Exactly.
Oh, it's okay, Brahma, can we just go with this, And now
you
become passive.
Yes.
And complacent in how people treat you. So that's a lesson that I take, is don't let that guard down, and your self-confidence is paramount, right?
Exactly. And, one of my mentors, he was actually from Zimbabwe, and he told me that when Africans actually go to the workplace and do what I just say, when, for example, initially people ask them introductions, where they're from, and they decide to not mention they're from Africa, even though if their name gives it away, there's a lot of leadership training where it says when you're at the workplace, to be even a leader, you have to unmask yourself at the workplace.
Mm-hmm.
You have to allow people to know who you actually are, and and that involves where you're actually from. Unmasking yourself is saying that you're not hiding or suppressing anything because you feel like that would, you feel like that would either lower your confidence or that would not make you perform better in a team by even just fitting in. You have to unmask yourself, because let's say from a first get-go, African X starts, and you ask, in a team meeting introduction, people are getting to know them, and they say, where are you from? And that person feels like they should say, again, maybe a city, maybe even the college they went to, or, it happens a lot of times, I'm telling you. And they just say, oh yeah, I'm from, let's say, I'm from Georgia, from Atlanta. When in reality, they're not from Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
They can't, even if it was, they can't even claim it because they probably didn't even grow up there. They didn't even grow up there. They didn't, they're not from there. They're not from that state. But they have said that because they think that they have to fit in. And he's telling me, actually, a lot of times what you don't understand is it's almost set them back for a lot more opportunities, because they can never truly now expand on where they're actually from.
Mm-hmm.
And that is used for interviews, that is used for networking, that is used for seeking opportunities, because you did not unmask yourself at the workplace. Because now if you say you're from Atlanta and you're really not, because you didn't want to tell people you're from Africa for some reason, people do it a lot, I don't know why. how are you gonna have a conversation about Atlanta or Georgia? How you can't even genuinely connect with someone from that state.
Yeah.
They'll, because you're not. You just briefly stated it. You say even if you live there for maybe 6 months to a year, you're not from there. So you didn't unmatch yourself at the workplace, he was telling me. And he was saying that he sees that a lot of times. Goes along the way where the leaders, they actually respect people who are more proud of where they're from and say this is, their heritage and this is what they bring to themselves, because it shows that they're willing to unmask themselves at the workplace.
Yeah.
So
that's a solid point. I mean, I can't think of a leader who's really hiding who they are. Right
you
now.
Can't
in the spaces.
You want to go to the top, and how you even hiding that? How think about it.
Yeah,
think about it.
There's a difference between having a private life, and not, and also like just overall like not being true to oneself, But that's a good point.
So yeah, for tips wise, how I've learned, that's one thing. For me, it starts one with name, two, specifically always, even for me, even if I moved or lived in another country, specifically always mention, always highlight, no matter what, even if they ask you where you went to school, whatever, I'll always still interject that I am from Gambia. Even if I tell them I lived in other places, I'll always say I am from Gambia. It doesn't matter if I'm an American citizen or not, where I'm from is different. Those are two different things.
Yeah. Conversely though, how do you think, or do you think we should care about, say, cultural misappropriations?
What cultural misappropriations? Misappropriations.
So, in the sense of your Africanness is not being respected, right? We've seen it in
so many times.
Well, we've seen it everywhere, but recently,
what's the
fufu challenge, right?
The fufu challenge.
That one, I'm not even on TikTok, but I heard about that one.
Oh my God.
The kind of the sentiment about it. If you don't like it here, go back, to where you're from, or go back to Africa.
We encountered that.
We did. You talking about the gas station?
We were at a gas station, and basically I didn't let this guy. So the gas station, you have to buy to get a key to the gas station.
Yep.
To key to the restroom.
Yep.
I bought something. When you use the restroom, and Ivan, we're all in the same car. Ivan shows up, and he wants to use the restroom, right? So, but you were coming towards the restroom, and then there's this guy, this white guy, he looks homeless or whatever. He wants to get in. So I'm like, excuse me, sir. Yeah, I pulled what they do on us.
Pulled the Karen.
Yeah, don't call me a Karen. I beg. I did what they did on us. That's exactly what they would have done to a black person. So I was like, I'm like, no, you cannot enter here. This key, you can't use it until you go buy it. Go talk to the cashier if you want it. Typical fashion. He's like, oh, okay. So, I give the key back, and we were about to enter the car, and next minute, this white man starts howling at us.
Yeah.
Telling us, go back to Africa, blah, blah, blah. He starts, all of a sudden, this guy's super brave. While he's standing
he's across almost the street.
Go back to Africa, blah, blah, blah. Starts cursing, and we're laughing at this clown.
Well, I didn't even know if he was talking to us at first.
Yeah, at first we just heard him yelling.
I was about to get in the car, and then I hear the yelling. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And I see he's like looking at you.
Yeah.
And I was like,
he became brave when he was 100 feet away.
Right.
Yeah.
There was more than that, bro.
Yeah, more than that, actually.
If we decide to run and catch you, we can't catch you now.
He's telling us, go back to Africa, blah, blah, blah. This is yelling. And what was funny is you saw the white people who were at the gas station kept coming to us, apologizing.
I'm so sorry.
My name. I was like, hey, it's all right. We're not asking for pity. This is our daily life. We deal with this every day.
Yeah.
Sorry you had to experience that because you probably never seen that, but we experience this all the time.
And I think it's always been a funny situation to me that actually happened. But how wild is that we're going to like a barbecue, right?
Yeah, we're going to a barbecue.
And that just happened. Like it's just everyday life, and other things that happen or we talk about happen. You know?
It's I feel like that's one of the most popular misappropriations we have. Go back to Africa. Of course, always thinking we live in the village. First of all, if you live in the village, so what? But still, like live in the village, live in huts and shit. We are all come from those type of conditions, like jungle conditions. They think we're Tarzan's cousins or something. That has died down early in my childhood. That was very prevalent, but now people are at least better in that department.
Yeah, it was a very interesting. Not that that's the first time it's happened, but I guess it's for someone to be so bold at especially when how many were we? Like 3 of us, 4 of us.
It was 4 of us.
4 of us.
4 of us in that car.
Man. And it's like you want to get that far, and then he like jumped on his bike, right?
He did. I mean, yeah, like I said, it was that typical Northwest passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Because when he was standing right next to me, and I told him no, he told me yes, okay. He complied. He's like, oh yes, and just walked in. Then all of a sudden, this guy turned into Rampage Jackson.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But yeah, misappropriations we face. It happens.
How about the fufu challenge? You seen that, right?
I've seen the fufu challenge, and personally, like I said, I'm not, fufu is not too big on it, but it's good, but...
You said it's good, okay.
It's good, but I to be honest, like, unless someone make fufu and serve it to me, then I'm not going to go out of my way to say I'm craving fufu. But it's the fact that, for me, I don't care if, to be honest, other, like, white people, even if it's anyone else, go ahead and talk shit about, hey, go support. You're supporting local African businesses. You're paying them at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But it always hits closer to home when you see a lot of African Americans. Hopefully, no African was in there too doing that stuff. Probably, even if it's an African or African. If I see a black person trying to gain clout, trying to, again, I don't know if they're trying to fit in, but trying to make a point, trying to let's just say clout by disrespecting an African, cuisine, African food that people eat, and what are you trying to prove? Like, if you don't like it, so what? But to feel like you need to go put it on camera and post it everywhere and try and make it a funny thing. For context, though, people who don't know what the fufu challenge is, can you explain it? I mean, the fufu challenge is you go to an African restaurant, you basically find fufu, put a camera, record yourself eating it and record your reaction. And a lot of people are like, oh, this is disgusting, blah, 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 trying to, again, it's a misappropriation and it's an ignorance in my opinion. But that's mainly the challenge. You buy fufu, record it, and should have a reaction of yourself eating the fufu. And, people took it way overboard, like being dramatic, all kinds of shit. Oh, this is disgusting, blah, blah, blah. I was just like, especially once you saw black people doing it, I was just like, here we go again. This is why we can never move forward, Regressive very regressive, acts, backwards again. So we should start going and recording hamburgers and being like, this is gross. This is disgusting. I can never eat this. Maybe we should. We should try to do the reverse one. Yeah. Let's pick a food. Casserole. A casserole? Oh my God. Green bean casserole. Green bean casserole. Oh, I'm sick. This is disgusting. Go do that like Applebee's or some staple. Go to Applebee's and fall down, call life alert. Oh, this is horrible. I've fallen and I can't get up. Yeah, maybe we should do that, guys. Africans, let's start it. Let's do a reverse fufu challenge. Find like a go to all the steakhouses. Go steakhouse and just start ordering and record ourselves grossing out and freaking out like, this is disgusting. Or do you have fufu? Keep sending it back. Yeah, send it back. No, this one is not. Yeah. Please bring another one. Like, keep just sending it back. This is why I like Africans. We have time for that nonsense. You think we'll go buy food just to record ourselves and get some likes? Come on, man. But clout is a hell of a drug now, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. People are all over that. We'll do everything for clout, but please leave our African culture and our food out of your nonsense if you're trying to get clout. That's just what I say. There's no honor in disrespecting another culture. You look bad. That's what I'm saying. You're the clown. Yeah. I mean, you look bad. You probably got 3 more likes than you usually would. You didn't make any money. You didn't pay your bills. It's one of those that you just look dumb. Years later, when you're old, you're going to look back and be like, that was an L. Yeah. Especially at a big age like this. At your big age. This whole 20-something-year-olds, 30-year-olds doing that. And I'm like, embarrassing, fam. No home training. 0. It's wild. But yeah, whatever. Yeah, man. Rap. Yeah, I mean, just wanted to get that off the chest, just we had to. It was, I had a whole conversation about it with my sister-in-law, and she sent me a video, and we were just like, here we go again. Disrespectful. Yeah. But who's our pioneer of the day? Our pioneer of this episode, is I'm proud to say this and happy to announce this pioneer. Our first pioneer for the season would be a great Senegalese musician, We all know him. It's called Youssou N'Dour.
Youssou
And before
N'Dour.
I highlight Youssou N'Dour, I'll actually want to say R.I.P. There's also a Senegalese musician legend that passed away recently, Chon Seka. So, condolences and rest in peace to him. But in the light of that, we just would like to highlight, the great Youssou N'Dour, true pioneer of African music.
Yeah.
In my opinion, top 5 greatest African musicians of all time. But his body of work and where he kind of created pathways. So see, these are the people that Fela created a pathways for. They were the generation after Fela that pushed the music of the continent forward. And coming from Senegal, where he started his journey in Gambia, actually. So his band, and he started playing music in Gambia, had a band, Super Etoile, and then, went to Senegal, and then he started going. He's been making music since the 70s. He is every Gambian auntie and Senegalese auntie's favorite artist.
Yeah. He's like 60 something now.
He's in his 60s, but Youssou N'Dour, man, he used to have these shows in Bercy. This guy has sold out everywhere around the world, from Argentina, like every corner
all
of the
over
earth.
Europe.
True pioneer.
The thing I like about him the most is if you want like raw, authentic, pure like Senegalese music with the most the production too, like the production is A1 and everything about his music is authentic.
Yep.
That's what I appreciate about Youssou N'Dour the most. And he's technically just won a Grammy with Burna.
With Burna Boy. He has longevity in his career.
And you can see Burna bigged him up in by putting him on the album, the first track. What's it called?
I forgot what it's called.
Forget the name of it.
But
Twice as Tall.
If you're
That's
ever
actually the name of the track.
He has also won a Grammy before that.
He did.
Yeah,
he did. Yeah.
He was one of the very early. And like I said, if you ever people, that's one thing too for people like us, our generation. We easily forget that you can take a break from Afrobeats and tap into real authentic.
And
let me not even use the authentic, but traditional.
I like to use the word Afro pop.
Is that what you call it?
Because a lot of what we listen to, right, is the mainstream.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Mainstream.
So if you're saying take a step away from
it's
like
healthy,
the Afro
guys.
pop, man, you'll find some stuff.
It's healthy, guys. Go back to sometimes it's good being a peasant. Just switch it up and listen to their music.
Yeah, I mean the whole like that region. There's Habib Coyote, I think how you say his name.
Senegambia, yeah.
Salif Keita, like
all those people.
The list goes on.
Yeah.
And there's music to be found. So,
yes, sir.
Shout out to Youssou N'Dour for being the pioneer of the week.
Yep.
And I mean that's all we had, bro. That's all we had.
Yep.
Thank you guys for tuning in once again.
Yes,
this
sir.
was episode 3.
Episode 3.
If you still haven't subscribed, liked, comment, Thunder is waiting for you. I'm just playing, but
Subscribe, like, comment, send that. Yeah.
We'll go send them. But,
yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in once again, and we'll see you next episode.
Cool. Thank you.